We'll now discuss how to take the variance and standard deviation of grouped data. So this means data that is already in a frequency distribution. The first step would be to find the midpoints, and we often denote this by x sub m. We then multiply the frequency by the midpoint, so we have f x sub m. We then multiply the frequency by the square of the midpoint, so we have another multiplication, which is f times x sub m squared. Then we're just going to sum the columns. We'll add up the columns. We get that our standard deviation here is then n times the summation of x, or f, times x sub m squared minus the sum of f sub x sub m all squared all over n minus 1. And if we want our standard deviation, we just take the square root of this value. Let's consider this data. Here we're looking at height in inches, and we have the frequency in the next column. We do need a column for our midpoints, so we'll find that. And we do this by adding our values, 59 plus 54, and then divide by 2 to get 56.5. The next one, 60 plus 65 divided by 2 is 62.5. The next one would then be 68.5, and then finally 74.5. So here we have the f. This is my x sub m. I need to have a column where I multiply these values. 3 times 56.5 is 169.5. 6 times 62.5 is 375. 5 times 68.5 is 342.5. And then 2 times 74.5 is 149. After that, we need a column for f x sub m squared. This time I have 3 times 56.5 times 56.5, which is 9576.75. The next one, 6 times 62.5 times 62.5 is 23,437.5. The next one, 5 times 68.5 times 68.5, 23461.25. And then finally 2 times 74.5 times 74.5 would be 11100.5. And now I need to sum all 4 of these columns. This is what we get. And I said all 4, but we don't actually need to sum the midpoint column. We just need our frequency, our fxm, and our fxm squared. Our formula then started with an n, which is our frequency total, times the summation of f of xm squared, which was 67576. We then subtracted the sum of x of m, fxm, which is 1036 squared, and we divide by n times n minus 1. And then working this out will give us our variance. And once we simplify this whole thing, this works out to be 33. To find our standard deviation, we then take the square root of that to get 5.745.